There are many factors that can influence the way we play a game of Rocket League. Maybe one game you've had a toxic teammate that starts to live rent-free in your mind, and you can't seem to shake off every great pass or what a save. These all start to sink into your core memory. Hey, I'm Jack, your friendly neighborhood Rocket League player that has a slight boost addiction. This video is the start of a new series I'm calling the Mentality Module. In this series, I hope to discuss different factors that can influence and impact our mentality when playing Rocket League. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about teammates. I'll break the video up into the following 3 parts on the screen. Let's get into it. The role of a teammate in Rocket League is quite simple. They are there to support you to score more goals than your opponent. A quick disclaimer here, I'll be referring to the 2v2 game mode in this video today, as the roles can differ slightly in 3v3. So what exactly is the role of your teammate in 2v2? Well, I think I can break that up into 2 key parts. Their role on offense and their role on defense. On offense, their role is to either set up an individual play or look to create a passing option for you to capitalize on. On defense, their role is to either be the aggressor or the backup. The main goal of the aggressor here is to try to get the opponents to give up possession of the ball, while the main goal for the backup is to be the last line of defense in goal to ensure the opponents don't actually score if they get past the aggressor. The role of a teammate allows us to create a little mental checklist in our minds to ensure we can play our part in a game. For example, if we are behind our teammate on kickoff, we can use this little mental checklist. That is to leave mid boost if your teammate is taking the kickoff. If we are cheating up behind our teammate, it's important that we leave 1 boost for them after they take the kickoff. If our teammate loses the kickoff, we want to ensure our net is covered as best as possible. And if our teammate wins the kickoff whilst we're cheating up, we can do one of 2 things. That is to either take possession of the ball or to capitalize on the open net if it's open. In my opinion, there are 3 ways our teammates can affect our mentality whilst playing a game of Rocket League. The first is their playstyle, the second is their emotions, and the third is their car and preset choice. I'll go into detail about each of these now. Let's start off with their playstyle. The way your teammate approaches a game of Rocket League causes your mentality to shift depending on their playstyle. If they are playing more aggressively in a game, you're likely going to play more defensively to ensure your net is covered. Whereas if they're more of a passive and defensive player, you're likely going to be the aggressor in this situation. And lastly, your teammate may also be one person to solely only go for risky aerial shots, causing you to play more grounded during a game. If you solo queue your games in Rocket League, you know how important it is to adapt to your teammates' playstyle. Sometimes you gel with teammates and sometimes it just doesn't work. I feel like your mentality is less impacted if you play with the exact same person every time you queue competitive. Secondly now is their emotions. We all love this game, but sometimes emotion can get the better of a player. They may become more tilted as the game goes on and potentially becomes toxic towards you. A tilted or toxic teammate can drastically impact your mentality and how you approach playing the game. You can almost compare it to walking on eggshells. You can sense an awkward tension between them too, and sometimes will play reactively to how your teammate is playing. For example, if your teammate decides to give up, deciding to play ultra aggressively to still keep in the game. Lastly is their car and their preset choice. Now while this doesn't directly impact the outcome of a game, your teammate's car choice and their preset can also have an effect on your mentality. If your teammate has a sweaty looking Octane design, you may feel more confident going into a game compared to a teammate using a Roadhog XL for example with the motor mouth engine audio attached. Now this last point here doesn't always affect every single player and it can be more of a subtle effect on a player's mentality. I personally feel like there's a responsibility on my shoulders to play better if I'm paired up with a teammate who's using a sweaty Octane design. Either way, I do find that this last point does actually affect me when I play my games. Sometimes our teammates can affect our mentality a little too much. Here are 3 mentality frameworks you can adopt when playing with a difficult teammate. Conversation control. If you've got a rather vocal teammate, whether that's voice chat, quick chat, or text chat, turning off the chat may be the way to go to focus on your game. It's unlikely too that you'll receive any great pass or nice shot compliments from them. Though if you do choose to turn off chat, be super mindful on kickoffs to ensure someone is actually going for them. A rule of thumb that seems to stick with the Rocket League community is left goes for kickoff. Next is positive reinforcement. On occasion, you may be paired with the same teammate for multiple games and it's quite clear to see they may not be having the best of days. This is where the positive reinforcement comes in. Now, you don't need to assume the role of coach and be an inspiration for the entire game. Rather, keep them and yourself present in a game of Rocket League by using quick chat compliments if they score a nice shot or give you a nice pass. Using the no problem quick chat can also be a handy option if they seem to be spamming my bad or sorry during a game. Lastly, inner zen. I'm a personal fan of finding my inner zen when playing Rocket League. And no, this isn't finding the real meaning of life when playing your games, rather finding your inner zen space whilst queuing with a variety of different teammates during your competitive sessions. Now, it's entirely up to you how you maintain your inner zen when playing Rocket League, but I thought I'd share some ways that I maintain mine when playing. I need an upbeat playlist full of tunes, taking a break for 10 minutes or so every hour, getting up and moving around when I do take my breaks, caffeine, and that's usually before I start my Rocket League sessions, and lastly, a short little casual 3v3 session to warm up. What are some ways you maintain your inner zen? Leave a comment down below to let me know. So there we have it, the first episode of the mentality module, talking about our teammates and how they can affect our mentality. I hope you found today's video on how teammates can affect your mentality insightful. Stay tuned for future videos on other factors that can affect your mentality when playing. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that thumbs up button. And perhaps check out my video on mindset and success in Rocket League. I'm Jack, and I'll see you next time. Catch up.